Hey guys and girls, and welcome to this special Euro 2020 video. On this review or video, I will be talking about England's chances of, in fact, bringing football home and ending the feel-good story on a high. So, is it coming home? Well, whisper it. It could be. Let's see. So we've got England-Denmark coming up in Wednesday's semi-final, and then in the other semi-final, which takes place tomorrow night, Italy against Spain. Intriguing, tasty game there. Sexy continental football expected at Wembley, and 60,000 people expected both nights, which I have my own grudge with, my own political beef, but I'll leave that for now on the video. I'm sure you can probably guess what I'm hinting at there. The rest of Europe certainly don't feel comfortable with letting 60,000 people in for the Euros. Certainly not in the countries that haven't been fully vaccinated yet, but that's a whole different kettle of fish. But yeah, let's talk about these games, particularly the England-Denmark game. England are on a real roll. The momentum is with them. They're probably the form side of the tournament, or at least one of them. I mean, obviously Italy would make the claim to that as well. Spain look a little more shaky. I think it's fair to say with Spain, would the real Spain stand up? Because at times in this tournament, they've looked like maybe the old Spain are coming back, or certainly that they're a real force to be reckoned with. But at other times, they've flattened to deceive and have sort of stumbled their way into the latter stages. But hey, they're there now, and anyone who gets to the semi-finals, they've got a shot of winning the whole thing. But obviously the other night in Rome, it was a great win for England against Ukraine. It was very professional, almost too professional. I'm not sure what Gareth and the boys are doing to us. It just doesn't quite feel right. England just shouldn't be that comfortable, even against lesser opposition. Harry Kane even got a couple. I mean, what sort of weird shit was going on there? I'm not quite sure what they were smoking, but they need to knock that off, really. I mean, England shouldn't be that comfortable. And Harry Kane, who I still say is unfit, not fully fit, and I still say is overrated. He's creeping up there. He's level with Shearer, I think, and approaching Gary Lineker's goal record for England at the Euros anyway. But it sort of feels kind of false to me. But in any case, England are now in a very good position to at least make their first final in a very long time. They go into Wednesday's game with Denmark as favourites. But just looking at that game, it's a very intriguing game. It's almost a very throwback European semi-final. Denmark have that sort of retro feel to them, where they are this team who came from obscurity like 30 years ago at the Euros, at Euro 92. They were the unexpected wild card thrown in at the deep end, and they surprised everyone. They won the Euros, beating Germany in that dramatic final, John Lenson and the rest of it. And they deserved it, and it was a brilliant moment. And really, they've not achieved anything like that since, but they're always solid. They're always hard to play against. They've got a decent footballing pedigree, a good background, and they tend to be quite savvy with their tactics. So Denmark, not a team to overlook, not from England's point of view, not for anyone. But I think it's just interesting looking at the Danish heritage there, because it's almost like they invented this idea of coming out of nowhere and winning the Euros that then Greece took to a whole new insane level in 2004. So it's almost like Denmark started that. It's like Denmark were the first team to kind of shock everyone to come out of nowhere. And since then, people have taken them more seriously. But as I said, they haven't really reached those sorts of heights since, but they've got a chance here, and it's this beautiful role reversal where Denmark are actually the underdogs because of England's form, England's momentum. I think England just have a real consistency at the moment, which is bleeding confidence. Just the I don't know, just the flow of the team, and the fact that there's such continuity and everything's fallen into place. They landed on the right side of the group where, I mean, bar Germany, who it wasn't really the best Germany team, but fair enough, they beat them. It was a good win. It was a convincing win in the end, although they did look quite sort of ropey for a little while before getting that first goal. But obviously the tactics paid off and the subs paid off. And yeah, it's worked out perfectly for Southgate. He's using his squad very well. But it's sort of an interesting. I mean, I guess Denmark would be slight underdogs anyway against England. But having said that, it is sort of interesting how fancied England are compared to normal, and that they're really in with a shot of at least making the final. Now, I still don't think they'll win the tournament. I think Italy are the favourites. I think they are the outstanding team, and I mean, arguably their form's even better than England. And I think the edge Italy have is just with the manager, with Roberto Mancini. Now, Southgate's a very effective manager, and it's impressive how he's kept his head, but I just think Mancini has this extra edge and charisma about him. He knows how to set a team out to win. He has a good game plan. And there's always the possibility of him losing his mind and Italy losing their minds, which is why it's such an exciting sort of prospect. But I think Mancini is a really great, exceptional manager. He's very sexy, very good on the eye, and he knows his stuff. He knows how to set a team out. And I think Italy have almost taken the Germany mantle of they just know how to win by hook or by crook. They know how. They're a very attractive Italy side. They've played some great football in the tournament. They've got a good system, but also they know how to do the dirty stuff and win. And I just think, although we've seen a much more resilient England in this tournament and a really strong backbone to them, and I think a better game management that we're used to, I just think Italy might still have the edge in that department if it does come down to an England-Italy final, which I'm hoping for. But just speaking about the Danes again, they obviously have this extra emotional sort of edge, and that is obviously the Christian Eriksen factor, and it's just this thing which is driving them on, and I think cannot be overlooked, and that maybe is a big factor between them getting this far and surprising a lot of people. It's worth remembering also that they had a really slow start to the tournament. They did lose their opening 2 games, and at one point was really struggling to qualify from the group, but then they ended on a real high. They won 4-1 against Russia, and that really propelled them to new heights, got them out of the group, and they've not really looked back since. They've looked pretty convincing since then, certainly very solid and well worth a semi-final place. And it's a similar story to England and their rise, because that one win against Russia, the fact that it came at home as well, the home advantage, and just the euphoria in Denmark on that night in Copenhagen, that just gave Denmark the spur they needed. And a bit like England, they've never looked back, and clearly they enjoyed playing in an almost packed Copenhagen arena, a bit like England have relished playing at Wembley. And England potentially have 2 more matches at Wembley, and obviously hoping to finally win a tournament. It certainly feels like their best shot at winning a tournament. Maybe for a while, though, obviously, hopefully, if he keeps developing the players or if this group stays together, there will be other chances. But I guess the key for England is, take each game as it comes and don't underestimate the Danes, because I don't think the Denmark game will be as easy as many are making out. I think they could make things very difficult for England. I think they're a decent footballing side and they've got good experience, so I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, and they will try to get under England's skin, which easier said than done, but they'll certainly fancy their chances. So I'll go for a narrow England win. I don't think it'll be as straightforward as many make out. Obviously, if England get an early goal, that could be a different story. But anyway, I'll go 2-1 to Denmark. I think maybe England, the main reason England have the edge is because of the strength in depth on the bench and what they can bring on if they are struggling to break the Danes down. So 2-1 England I'll go. And then for tomorrow night's game, Italy-Spain, which, by the way, I think will be the better game of football. I think I can see the England-Denmark game being quite sort of gritty and ugly, whereas I do see the Spain-Italy game, flowing quite nicely. You've got intriguing personalities, you've got drama on the pitch, and you've got the enigma of Morata, who I think definitely has become the new Emile Heskey and probably is quite important to the way Spain play. I think him as the sort of target man foil, him with his endeavour, industrial presence and work ethic, I think has a real key part to play in linking play up. And I think he needs to be on form and needs the service, and I think they need to get bodies forward to play off him if they're going to have success against the Italians. I think there does have to be some level of control from the Spanish. They can't go too gung-ho, because I think the Italians have a really effective pressing game that could sort of outfox them. In the end, I've obviously picked Italy for the tournament, so I'm going to stick with them. I think they do look more the complete team than Spain, but it should be one hell of a match. I mean, I could see a few goals in this one, but I do make Italy the favourites. It may even go as far as extra time, but I'll say 2-1 to Italy. I mean, there could be a few goals, but Italy are pretty solid at the back, so I'll go for the same scoreline actually, as in 2-1 Italy. So there are my thoughts. Those are my predictions for the two semi-finals, which of course would make an England-Italy final. But is there a spanner in the works still to be thrown? Let me know your thoughts and your predictions for the Euro 2020 final. And I'll be back soon with more Euro reports, videos, all the rest of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe and share this video out on social media. Thanks guys. See you again soon. Goodbye.